What is up, guys? Chris here, I'm Professional Dad, and I'm back with another knife video. Okay, recently I've been showing you all different brands, and then I've showed you all the models that I have in that brand. And along the way, I'm trying to give you my personal opinion, which doesn't carry a lot of weight, and I know that, but I give you my personal opinion about that brand and the alley or lane that brand is in, and what sets it apart, what makes it stand out. If it's one that's just EDC driven like Vosteed and every knife they put out is an EDC banger, or it's an umbrella brand like Civivi. There's something for everybody, no matter who you are, what budget you're at, you can find something in that brand. Or their budget brand, Sincut. Each one has their own lane. I'm going to talk to you about a brand right now, and it's going to have its own lane. And this brand, there's something about it. This brand is a pillar in the knife community. And when I talk about this brand, a lot of you are going to snicker, whatever, but I'm going to show you a knife or two instead of wasting a lot of time and being 5 minutes before I show you a blade, because I know some people don't like it. I'm going to go ahead and show you a blade or two, and then I'm going to tell you why I think this brand is so important to the knife community, even though knife snobs and steel snobs completely disagree. I'm going to tell you why this is such an important brand to the entire knife industry, and that's Kershaw. So I'm going to show you the very first one. The very first Kershaw that I'm going to show you is a fantastic little pocket knife. This thing is awesome. As a matter of fact, every time I show this knife, whether it's in a 3-knife challenge or whatever else, it does really well. People really like this knife, and I see why. There's only one thing about this knife that I don't like, and it is the Cryo. The Kershaw Cryo. Now, this is a frame lock knife with HCR blade steel handles, stainless handles. It has jimping on the frame and on the blade, but not much. But look at that blade shape. Look at that swedge. Guess what this knife is? This knife is designed by Rick Hinderer. This is a Hinderer edition of the Kershaw line. It looks just like the 056, not just like, but it's similar to the 0562 of Zero Tolerance, because that's a Hinderer edition as well. And his knives have a very similar style to them. This is a Hinderer edition, or Hinderer designed, not Hinderer edition, but Hinderer designed Kershaw, the Kershaw Cryo. It is, there's a couple things that I really like about this knife. The one thing I don't like a whole lot about this knife is it's assisted, and I'm not a big assisted fan. But man, this thing has a hollow grind blade that is a slicey, piercing, stabbing, just all around great knife. Good little EDC knife right here, really good. Now, there's a couple things going on here that make this knife a real gem. Number one, it's got 4-position pocket clip. So you can do left hand, right hand, tip up, or tip down. And when I say tip up, I mean it is a truly, let me turn that right there where you can see. That is a truly deep carry pocket clip. Now the screws are not set into the handle, so they might snag on your hem of your pockets and stuff. You do have dual thumb studs right there, boom. Or you have a flipper tab right there. But look at this knife. You also have the little over travel stop pin right there, or screw, that keeps the frame from being pushed out too far and damaging it so it doesn't work anymore. So that'll actually keep the frame from being pushed out. So a lot of great things. There's actually jimping on the underside of the handle right there for a better grip. All in all, just a fantastic little EDC knife. Now, I've got this thing really tight, actually, and I'm noticing that right now. The action is a little stiff because I've got the screws tightened down so much. I need to loosen those up, and it'll be a lot more snappy on deployment. But here's the thing. People love this knife. Every time I show this knife, people go on and on about it because of who it's designed by. That's a solid little knife. 4-position pocket clip, frame lock, hollow grind, Dual thumb studs, a flipper tab, excellent jimping along the top of the handle and the spine of the knife. Swedges, I mean, piercing, stabbing, slicing, whatever you want to do, this knife is going to do it. Now, it is a smaller knife. This is a 3-finger knife for me. That's all it is. I can kind of squeeze my 4th finger on there, but it just slides right off. And especially if I can't my hand to the side at all for a grip, it's definitely sliding off. So it's a 3-finger grip, so it's a smaller knife. So this is going to be big enough for the average person as an EDC knife. But great price on this. Everything that you get, ACR, steel handles. I mean, 35 bucks, 40 bucks. It's hard to beat that right there. Hard to beat that. And I know we're not getting into the ACR conversation right now. It is what it is. But this thing is that hollow grind. Let me tell you right now. I mean, this thing is, I can't cut paper to save my life. This thing is a razor blade. Let me just tell you. It is a razor blade. It is so sharp. I mean, this thing is hair popping sharp. I'm never going to be able to cut paper. I've established that. I give up. Great knife. I'm going to show you one more, and then I'm going to tell you why I think Kershaw is such a fantastic brand, and the knife community and the knife industry needs Kershaw. And there are some cool knives on this table. The next one I'm going to show you is the Barstow, another assisted. Kershaw has a lot of assisted knives. Now this is a dagger style knife. Now it is not dual edge. It's only single edge. Well, one side is sharpened, but another razor blade, very, very sharp. It's got blue anodized hardware, deep carry pocket clip that is reversible, left hand or right hand. It is tip up only, and it is a frame lock with big steel liners. Now there is fullers that go right down the middle of both sides of this dagger. This is a great little knife for somebody that, you know, like for me it'd be like a 5th pocket carry or something like that. Kind of like a little tactical knife, self-defense knife. Not self-defense. No knife should ever be used for self-defense. Forget I said that. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. No knife should be used for self-defense, ever. Just don't do it. Tactical. And tactical does not mean self-defense. It means something that you can use for, you know, ammo cans, seat belts. I mean, there's so many things that you can use a knife for tactical purposes that it's not for self-defense, but which I wouldn't want to use like a knife like this anyways. It's got G10 handles that are textured. Great action. Great action. Another one with ACR. I think this comes in right around $35, the Barstow. This is a good little boot knife. You know what this is a boot knife for me. This is something that would be a really good boot knife because it has such a true deep carry pocket clip there. It goes over the hilt of the handle. That's a true deep carry pocket clip. You can slide that right down in your boot. I know a lot of people would EDC this. It's a good little knife, but you know, it doesn't really have the blade geometry to be a really good EDC knife, in my opinion. People do EDC it. I'm sure people are going to disagree with me. I have no doubt. But yeah, it's a cool knife. It's just not one that I would EDC. 35 bucks. Great little knife. It is what it is. Again, every knife has its own purpose and intent. And for this intent or purpose, it's a cool little knife. I like it. I'm going to tell you why Kershaw is such a great brand. Every brand has their own lane. Here's the thing about Kershaw. There's 2 types of people in this world. Everybody falls into one of 2 categories. They're the people like me and you. They're the knife enthusiast. The people that know about handle materials, that know about blade materials, that know about heat treats, that know about the different brands and models, that know about knife drops when they're coming out, that have knife collections, that want more knives more than just to cut boxes with and use at work. We actually appreciate and value knives for what they are, as investments, as a passion, collector's pieces, art. There's that group of people. And then there's everybody else who just sees knives for exactly what they are. They're just people that carry a pocket knife because they're going to use one to slice an apple or to whittle on a stick or to cut a package open, or it's just a pocket knife and that's all it is. They couldn't tell you what blade steel is. You mention blade steel and they'll think you're crazy. Handle material, I don't know. It's plastic, I don't know. Metal, what? I have no idea. Heat treat, so beyond them, they couldn't even begin to talk about heat treats. They could care less. $25 for them is a decent pocket knife. I mean, they're really coming out of pocket for a knife right there because it's just a pocket knife. Why am I spending that much money on a pocket knife? I'm just going to cut stuff. Why would I spend $200 on a knife? I can cut the same stuff with this $25 knife that you can cut with that $200 knife. You know how many times I've been told that? Probably the same amount of times that you've been told that. And we've all been told that a lot because people don't see the value in knives like we do. The average person doesn't care about that. Now here's the thing. The average person, you can't go to Walmart and buy Kaiser. You can't go to Walmart and buy Vosteed or QSP. You can start to buy Civivis, only 4 models of Civivi. But finally they're starting to sell Civivi, 4 models of them at Walmart. But you can't buy all those brands. You know what you can buy at Walmart? Kershaw. You know what you can buy at Sportsman's Warehouse, at Dick's, at Target, at Myers, at Lowe's, at Menards, at Bass Pro Shop, at every bait and tackle store, at every hunting store. You go down a backcountry road on a back holler in a backwoods hick town and go to your local gas stop, and guess what you're going to find in there? Probably a Kershaw or 2 for sale because they're everywhere. They have history. Everybody knows Kershaw. When I was new, I knew what Kershaw was. I had no clue what Civivi was. I never even heard of them. What's Civivi? And I'd been using knives my whole life. Average person, they wouldn't know what a Civivi was. What is a Civivi? The heck is that? We what? We're right here. What do you mean we? They have no clue. That's the average person. The average person, you know how many people shop at Walmart? 90% of the population. 90% of the population shops at Walmart. And the average person shops at Walmart. What is it? What did they say? 16 times a year, the average person shops at Walmart. I think it's more than that. I think it's 26 times a year, something like that. But it's a lot. I shop more than that at Walmart. I bet you do too. Guess what you can buy at Walmart? Kershaw. The average person's not spending money on knives. The average person don't care. Kershaw supplies all of those people with knives. Kershaw is a very needed brand. Kershaw gets people into knives. It gets people interested in knives. It gives people their first knife. It gives people a taste of what it's like to use and own a knife, pride of ownership. It opens doors for people. Kershaw is a very important brand. Now, I know a lot of us have moved past Kershaw. We're into the other Civivis and Kaisers and Wies and stuff like that. Everybody goes on that metaphorical journey and steps up that metaphorical ladder. We start with the Bucks and the Kaisers or the Kershaws and the CRKTs from Walmart and the inexpensive $20, $30 knives. And we think that we've got something, but we really don't know what we don't know. But we're all happy with those and we think we got some great knives. But then we start learning. We're like, oh, actually, I didn't know all that. So then we step up and then we progress. We upgrade, so to speak, and we kind of move past those. But the average person will always live in that area. That's why Kershaw is so important. That's the lane of Kershaw. The lane of Kershaw is the average American knife user. and knife owner and the person that's just looking to spend $25 on a knife because $25 is $25 too much, they can go to the gas station and get a knife for 15 bucks and it'll last them a year. All right, when it breaks, I'll just buy another $15 knife. It's just a knife. That's how the average person looks at it. The average person can go to the flea market, spend $5 on a table full of knives, $5 and take your pick. You can get fixed blades, folders, whatever you want. But knives that look like cheap bucks or generic bucks look like generic cases, but they do the same thing. They sharpen up just like any other knife. That's why Kershaw is so important. That's the lane that Kershaw lives in, and that's what makes Kershaw an absolute fantastic brand. Not for the knife enthusiast, maybe. Not for the knife snob. Not for the steel snob. But for the average American, Kershaw is a literal pillar of the knife industry. And I appreciate Kershaw for exactly that fact. The fact that they have so many models that cost under 30 bucks that the average person can get. The average person that can't afford very much, but they really want a knife so bad. They want a knife so bad. They're just starting out. They've been saving up their money. They finally got $35. They can run to Walmart and get one, and they'll be tickled to death thinking they got the coolest thing in the world, and it'll be a $35 Kershaw. I love Kershaw. All right, this next knife is a fantastic knife. This is called the Misdirect. This thing is cool. If you like the Aridium and the Bel Air, this kind of has the look or vibe of those, except for it's not like a crossbar. It's an assisted knife. It doesn't have a great blade steel. It's got HCR. It's got a hollow grind with a good swedge in the top. It's a very piercing, stabbing knife. It's got that reverse tanto, sheep's foot, Warncliffe, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they'll call it. They'll call it something, and they're always calling it something different. Now, it is a frame lock with steel handles, and that frame lock is 3 positions. You can put it here, 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 but you cannot put it here. So it's left hand or right hand, tip up only. Actually, no, tip up or tip down. You can do tip down with this. Yep. So you can do right hand tip down, right hand tip up. Left hand tip up. You cannot do left hand tip down. So 3 position pocket clip, assisted knife. It does have jimping on top. Not very, that's so micro, it might as well not be there. It's a smaller knife, very thin. Look at that blade though. This is an EDC knife right here. That blade shape right there, this is an EDC knife. This is the knife that gets people interested in knives that don't know anything about knives. This knife right here. Yeah, the Cryo is fantastic. That's a cool knife right there. That's a really cool knife. This knife right here is fast, it's quick, it's thin, it looks cool. Look at that blade. Look at that knife right there. 30 bucks, tops, and you got this knife. Look at this action. Boom! That's snappy. Yes, it is assisted, and a lot of people don't like assisted. I'm not an assisted guy. I just happen to have a lot of Kershaws that are assisted. It does have a hole for the lanyard, and it has geared spacer in the back here, a G10 spacer. All in all, just a really good knife. If you like the style of like a Bel Air, the look of the Bel Air, but you want something just a little bit smaller, something, it's assisted. Both of them have, metal handles, thin, lightweight, very nimble. Great knife right here. Great knife. 25, 30 bucks. This is the kind of knife right here, I'm telling you, that gets people interested in knives. The average person, when I did not know any different, about knives, and I was clueless about knives, and I thought I knew something, but I didn't. This is the kind of knife that I would have been like, this knife is amazing. Oh my God, this thing is $30. It's so cool. Man, it's expensive too. Look at this. It's got a frame lock. Shoot, look at that blade. Black stone washed. I mean, this is the knife right here. This is Kershaw's bread and butter. Knives like this that make the average person interested in owning knives. Here is a legend in the world of knives. And Knife Center, David C. Anderson, Blade HQ, me, I've seen other people all say that if you was going to have a knife collection, there's 20 knives that everybody has to have. 20 knives that every knife collector has to have if you're going to be a true knife collector. And the Leek is one of those knives. I've seen it on every single list I've ever seen. I'm sure that there's a list out there that it's not on. But every one I've seen, if you're a knife collector, these are the knives that you've got to have. The Mora is one of them. The Buck 110 is one. There's a lot of knives. The K-Bar fighting knife. There's a lot of knives like that that are on that list. The Leek is on that list. It's fantastic. A Warncliffe blade. It's 14C 28M blade steel, so it's pretty good blade steel. It's got a hollow grind, very slicey, very slicey. A sharp tip that's very piercing, good for cutting down packages, boxes, whatever. Now, it is thin, so I wouldn't do too much hardcore use with this. I wouldn't want to snap that blade off. It does have jimping on top of the spine, but look at that, how much you get. It is so small and minute that it's like, what's the point of even being there? But the average person has thumbs smaller than mine, so I do understand. It has a pocket clip that you can do tip up or tip down, but you cannot do left-handed. So it's right hand tip up or right hand tip down. It is a liner lock with thick steel liners, so it's solid. Metal handles. I mean, just a great little knife. I'm not a huge Leek fan. I'm just not. I'll be honest with you. Well, I've been honest. Everybody that's watching my videos that's ever heard me talk about this knife, look at that G10 spacer right there. That's cool. I'm not a Leek fan. I see what people like about it to an extent. I'm just not a Leek fan. It's not my cup of tea, you know. But I'm glad to own it. I really am. I'll tell you this right now. The Leek, it's 14C 28M blade steel, which is the reason why one of the reasons why it costs so much more. But I'm going to tell you right now, 100%, and people are going to be upset with me for saying this. It is what it is. I'm always honest. I don't care. If I had to choose between this Misdirect and 8CR and this Leek and 14C, I'm taking this Misdirect all day long. I like the blade more. I like the handle more. I like the weight of it more. Now, the look of this with that gray and that black stone wash, yeah, that does look cool. But I'm going this knife all day long. I would much rather have it in 14C, but I'll do fine with ACR and just sharpen it more and strop it more. The Leek is a popular knife. I just don't see it. But if you do have a Leek, I mean, they're really popular. People love these things for a reason. I just don't know that reason. And I'll be honest, I think it's just because it's a smaller knife, and I like bigger knives, you know? And I say that, and this is a smaller knife. But this is the sleeper on the table right here. Let me tell you right now, this is the sleeper on the table. If you do not have one, this knife is insanely good. You've got to try this knife to understand how good this is. It's the Kershaw layup. Look at that blade shape. Look at that handle. G10 handles, deep carry pocket clip, screws inset into the handle, and it is reversible, left hand or right hand. Big steel liners. Now, it does have jimping on top of the spine, and it is aggressive, very aggressive jimping. There's just not a lot of it. Now, here's the thing. It's assisted knife opening, but to close, it's got a crossbar lock that disengages it. It does have a flipper tab. There's no thumb studs or anything like that. You have to use the flipper tab to open it, but boom, it's got quick action. And to close it, you pull that, it disengages the lock, and you can close it. Open, close. D2 blade, a great blade. Very slicey, great swedge, sharp tip, piercy, slicey, feels good in the hand. It's big enough for my monster hands with real estate left over. This knife is the sleeper on the table. I'm telling you right now, this knife, the layup is great. I've said that since the day I got this knife. Every time I've ever talked about this, I've talked about how great this is. I think people don't really realize, because it's Kershaw, maybe, I don't know if a lot of people have the layup. I've never seen it at Walmart or anything like that. I actually got this at Bass Pro Shop. It was there for like $60, I think. I'm so tickled with this. I love this knife. I've EDC'd this knife a lot. Stonewash blade, very slicey. And it's D2. D2 is a great blade steel. Great blade steel. Yeah, that's extremely sharp. Big, thick steel liners. I mean, this is a nice knife, guys. Nice knife. I love this thing. Love this one too. The Broadside. The Kershaw Broadside. This is basically the big brother of the Aridium. It's got a crossbar lock. It's got the action of the Aridium. G10 handles, a deep carry pocket clip, screws inset into the handle. Now, it is not reversible. Actually, yes, it is, because it goes up to the top right there. So it is reversible. Left hand or right hand, it goes through that little slit right there. So it comes out of there and goes into there. So it's left hand or right hand, tip up only. It has jimping on top of the spine and on top of the handle. So it is very aggressive jimping. I love that. Dual thumb studs. And again, a crossbar lock. Boom. Look at that blade. That's a massive blade with a big old swedge, drop point, good sharp piercing tip, flat grind. I mean, what a great knife. What a great knife. If you like a bigger knife like the AD10, but you want something with action, a fidgety knife, you like the AD10 and a bigger, heavier, thicker knife, but you want something that's one-handed, something with some action to it, fidget factor, right here, all day long. The Broadside. Zach recommended this, and I still to this day am so tickled with this knife. I absolutely love this knife. It's got one finger choil for indexing your grip. Feels great in the hand. It's big. Look how much real estate there is. Still coming out the end of a 4-finger grip. That blade is just awesome. Look at that. Now these are about $75, I think. 75, 80 bucks. They might be a little bit cheaper, especially on Amazon. I can't remember exactly what these things cost. But the Broadside is fantastic. D2 blade. Another one that's going to give you really good edge retention, really good toughness. Now here's the downfall to this knife that a lot of people don't like about this. It does have really soft springs. And you can definitely feel it. You can definitely feel it. You know, it is what it is. I think that's what gives it the action for a bigger, heavier knife like this. It does have a little soft springs, and some people don't like it. It doesn't bother me too much. because I like the action, the flippy action of this. I just like the knife. I like the blade a lot. The Kershaw Emerson CQC 7K. This is a tactical knife. You will see a lot of law enforcement and military carrying this knife right here for good reason, very good reason. G10 handle on one side, steel frame lock on the other. It is a pocket clip that is reversible. You can go left hand or right hand, tip up only. It does have a frame lock and extremely thick steel liners. Jipping on top of the blade and the handle with that little lip right there that gives you a thumb ramp. Now it has a thumb disc instead of thumb studs for opening it. But here's another thing. That lip right there is for pocket deployment. The way that it works, most of you already know this. When you put this down into your pocket, as you pull it out, the hem of your pocket, as you pull it out of your pocket, the hem of your pocket will catch that lip and boom, literally open your knife. So you just pull your knife out of your pocket and it opens it for you. So that is pocket deployment right there. Now it does have, you can get this in a drop point. They didn't have it when I was buying this. Actually, they might have had this, and I can't remember. I got this at Bud's Gun Shop. It has a flat grind with a Tonto. Nope, that's a hollow grind. That's a hollow grind with a Tonto tip and a swedge. Stonewash blade. Just a great knife. This thing right here is I think this knife, and this is a great knife for the price. I think you can get this on Amazon for $53. I paid $60 for it at Bud's Guns. But if you look on Amazon, you can get this very knife right here for $53. This is a fantastic knife. Feels great in the hand. It's a popular knife. It's very solid, thick, heavy, bulky, great blade, fast deployment. It's not assisted. You also have that thumb disc. Boom. Hold on, buddy. I'll be right there. Hold on. Talk to Elijah. Hold on, I'm almost done. Fantastic knife, guys. Fantastic knife. That's awesome. I got 2 more to go and I'm almost done. The Aridium. Enough said. Now these are usually in aluminum handles in a different blade shape. I've got the Warncliffe blade and my card handles, because this is a Blade HQ exclusive. Dual thumb studs. Oh, he's upset with me. I'll have to end this really quick. Fidget factor is off the charts. D2 blade steel in stonewashed deep carry pocket clip with that red aluminum spacer. It is a beautiful, beautiful knife. Beautiful knife. Elijah must have got him. He's good. And the last knife I'm going to show you, that is a fantastic knife. There's a reason they're selling 1 million of these things right now. That's awesome. I do like the micarta, the Blade HQ exclusive, but I do want the aluminum different blade shape, the actual original blade shape on the Aridium. I think that is so cool looking, but I also like the Blade HQ exclusive. And there you go. The Bel Air aluminum handles, black stone washed blade and magnet cut, dual thumb studs, and it does have jimping on top that is somewhat, it's not really micro, nah, it's got some aggressiveness to it. Deep carry pocket clip, true deep carry pocket clip that is reversible, left hand or right hand. Steel liners. All right, buddy, I'm coming. Ending this video right now, guys. All right, so that's a great blade right there. That's the Bel Air. You can get that for around $150. Magnet cut blade, fidgety as all get out, very lightweight, very thin. This is an EDC knife right here that is great for EDC. It's not for heavy hardcore use. The blade is extremely thin, the tip is extremely thin, but a fidget factor EDC knife, this is a gold mine. You got to know what you're using though. Magna Cup blade still is going to have good edge retention, corrosion resistance, and toughness. Dual thumb studs, all the other things that you're wanting, but it's not a knife that you can go out and hardcore heavy use bead on and stuff like that. So that is all my Kershaws, guys. I like Kershaw because of what they are. They're a brand for the average knife user, not for the knife enthusiast. And we've got to think about everybody, because that's how we pull people in to becoming knife enthusiasts. So I hope you enjoyed those. If I was to say my favorite one on the table, it is probably, yeah, I don't know. I can't really pick. I like these two. I like this one a lot. I like this one a whole lot. Those are definitely my 4 favorites. But this one right here is definitely up there with them as well, because that one's definitely my favorite. Oh, I can't forget this one. That's definitely one of my favorites too. Yeah, they're all my favorites. I love them all. All right, guys, I'm Chris, I'm Professional Dad. Remember, all the links are in the description below. So is the link to my merch in case you want to get a hat, t-shirt, or anything, and the link to join our premium membership for the Knife of the Month giveaway. I'm going to go deal with my little ones because Elijah's apparently not helping him. So I'm going to go deal with him, and I appreciate you guys. I'm Chris, I'm Professional Dad. I wish you all sharp knives and happy lives. Take care.